Welcome to the Recon Trader. In today's video, I will share with you some tactical analysis over on the Bitcoin chart as the Bitcoin weekly candle just printed a shooting star, and that happens to be a very bearish candlestick. So let's get right into the weeds and jump over to the weekly chart for Bitcoin. And as you can see, the weekly candle that just closed yesterday would be this candle right here. And if I zoom into the candle that just closed yesterday, that would be this candle right here. That is what we would call a shooting star candle. And it is a bearish candle, but in reality, we do need to look for confirmations. And so how this week's candle actually plays out, now it's Monday, so it's very early. Now, if this price action does end up rolling over and coming down and perhaps breaking some of these lower wicks back here, then that would add validity to this particular shooting star candle. However, on the flip side, if the price rolls up and we get a close higher, then it would invalidate this particular candlestick. So on the weekly time frame, as usual, we need to wait and see and get confirmation once this week's candle actually closes. And before we move on to the daily candle chart, I do want to drop in the EMA ribbon. And at the end of the day, until Bitcoin's price can actually get back above and on top of this EMA ribbon, we can expect bearish activity from the price action. And that is exactly what was confirmed on last week's candle that closed yesterday. We got a rejection when the price moved up into the ribbons, and we got a close below the bottom of the ribbons. And so right now we'll keep an eye on this weekly candle and see if we can get a push back into or above the ribbon, or are we going to reject even further down? Because again, a shooting star candlestick typically indicates a rejection. So with that all being said, let's jump over to the daily candles. And last Monday, and that would be on February 7th, which represents this candlestick right here, I had mentioned that it looked like to me that there was a possibility of a bull trap being set up. And I mentioned during that video that I saw 45,500 as previous very strong support back in this region back here, and in all likelihood that level would turn into resistance. Support often does turn into resistance, and we actually rejected from that level the following day, and then also later in the week we rejected around that level again, and then the price began to roll over as we went into the weekend. Now, we do not have confirmation that this was actually a bull trap. We would actually need to see this price retreat quite a bit more before we would call this a bull trap. And in reality, I'm not so certain we're going to see that. If we jump over here to viewbase.com and take a look at the expiration for BTC options this week, and that would be February 18th on Friday. If we take a look at the calls and the puts, I'm keeping an eye at the 42,000 strike level, and that would be because we have almost $1 million worth of calls at this level and around 300,000 worth of puts. I foresee a battle happening at this level before the price got pushed down below to the 41,000 level, where we're kind of even. We're at about 300,000 versus about 2,500 on the put side. So 42,000 to 41,000 would be the level that I see a battle, and in theory I think right now that level would favor the bulls. Now on the flip side, if we look at the strike price of 44,000, you can see the calls have just about 300,000 and the puts have just over 500,000 at that level. And again, to me this would be a level that we would see a battle, and in this case I think the puts would be favored. So right now in reality Bitcoin may range somewhere between say 41,000 to 44,000 this week. However, these numbers can change throughout the week, so it's worth keeping an eye on. So jumping back over here to the chart, we can actually see 41,000 being a support level, and we can also see 44,000 coming in as a resistance level. So those numbers actually do jive with what we see on the charts. Now, if I drop back in the EMA ribbon on the chart, we were looking at, for the first time in a while, Bitcoin on last Monday, a week ago, did finally get back above the EMAs, only to eventually roll back into the EMA ribbon. And right now, the price is moving a little bit sideways, and we would see the bottom of the ribbon around 41,500. So again, around that 41,000 support level. On the flip side, we see the top of the ribbon right around 43,100. So again, somewhere between 43 and 44,000 would be resistance, and support would be down here around 41,000 to perhaps around 40,000. So Bitcoin could definitely this week be range bound between 40,000 and 44,000 so far from what I'm seeing on the charts. And if I drop in my support and resistance indicator, again, we see support would be this green bar running through the chart right here. And that comes in right below 42,000 all the way again down to that 40,500 level. And so if I drop back in my Fibonacci levels, one of the main levels I'll be keeping an eye on will be the 786 level, and that's coming in at $40,665, which happens to be very close to the bottom of this green support level. So a breakdown below that could be a signal to go short. And then on the top side, we don't actually get another fib level until 0.618, and that's putting us at 46,721. If the bulls this week are able to push this price up here, that would be a pretty big move. However, there is going to be resistance again around that 45.5 level. That's the first level that the bulls actually have to get above. Then they can take a look at around 46.7 or say 47,000. But as you can see above that, there is a whole lot of resistance with these red bars you see running through here, not to mention the 0.5 Fibonacci level, and that's at around 51,000. In the long run, the bulls have a lot of work cut out for them, and the bears have a much easier road to travel if they want to push this price down from what the charts are currently telling us. So I think that pretty much wraps it up. I will do an update video if anything major happens on the charts, so you might want to shoot that subscribe button. If you like this video, do me a favor, spike a like. If you have questions or comments, drop them in the comment section down below. And until next time, remember, never send your money into battle without first doing your recon. See you in the next video.